Okay, so greetings again, everyone. It is I, Lanye London of Lanye London Illuminating Minds LLC, and we are going to recast this broadcast. I know, I know, you were wondering what happened the first time. I did not know that you couldn't hear me. Who knew that? I did not know that. So I did a whole 40-minute Kwanzaa countdown and no one could hear me. I know, I know. It's a whole thing, child, but guess what? It is I, Lanye London, and we don't stop. That kind of stuff for nothing. All right. So I'm going to miss all the pleasantries that we talked about last time. We're going to go back through the Kwanzaa countdown, what it means to have a place setting for Kwanzaa, how to set up for Kwanzaa, and what your place setting is going to look like for your altar or your Kwanzaa setup. Let's put it that way. Kwanzaa setups can be done at home. They can be done at work. They can be done in community settings. And so shout out to the AV Kwanzaa committee. We started back in, I don't even know how long ago that was now, but we did community Kwanzaas. And so people brought things from their home, Kwanzaa altars and things, and we did it for the community. We basically walked everybody through what Kwanzaa is. As you all know, the Kwanzaa Countdown is about explaining the details of Kwanzaa for people to be able to celebrate at home in the communities or in schools and workplaces alike. And so we're going to explain the elements of Kwanzaa. So the base element is the Mkeka. Can you all say Mkeka? Mkeka means mat. And as you all know, I have a Kwanzaa planner, which I'm pulling up for you right now, that you are more than welcome to purchase. It is online. It is on my website at lanyelondon.com. And it has all of the setup mechanisms. It's a setup guide, right? It's a setup guide. It's a planner. It's a goal planner. It's a principle planner. So in that planner, I have a whole Kwanzaa setup guide. So that's what you'll find, and that's what I'm referring to today. So you see on the side that's what that is. So again, Mkeka. Can you all say Mkeka? The Mkeka means mat, and that serves as your base, your foundation. It's usually made out of some type of tweed. It's also sometimes made out of kente cloth, cut in the form of a mat, but it serves as your base, your foundation. And then you have your Kinara. Everybody say Kinara. Kinara. So this is your candle holder, and it has seven slots for your candles. And as you all know, I made this big old thing about candles last time because candles are usually, especially the black candle, it's usually the one that goes away the fastest because it's lit over and over and over for all 7 days. So it's usually this candle still standing and then the black candle's all gone. And we'll talk about the candle lighting and how that works as well. So the other piece to the candles, I've seen publicly things that are created that do not have the proper setup for the candles. We're going to go over that. Black in the center, green on the left, red on the right. That means something. We'll talk about it, but that's how it should be set up. If you ever see them in reverse, that means somebody didn't do their homework and they need to know how to set up a Kinara. So you have your Kinara. Then you have your Kikombe. Can you guys say Kikombe? Kikombe is the Unity Cup. And pre-COVID, we would pour a drink into the Unity Cup, some type of water or juice, and we would pass it around to people in the community and drink out of the Unity Cup. So I don't know how we're going to do that, ABSI and other community Kwanzaas, but, we'll figure that out when we get there. And then other parts of your display are gifts. They're called zawadis. Can you guys say zawadis? Zawadis. Zawadis are gifts that are usually handmade or educational. And so this is a Zawadi from Dr. Julius Garvey, Marcus Garvey's baby son. I was with him on his book tour when he re-released his mother's edition of the Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. Most people don't know or don't pay attention, but it is Amy Jacques Garvey who wrote the Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. So we give honor to the ancestor, Amy Jacques Garvey, for capturing her husband's works and publishing them and giving them to the world. She actually did that while he was in prison, so that was really dope. So of course you gotta have your sound. You gotta have your sound. So I have my maracas from Prospect Park. Remember last week? I couldn't remember where that park is in New York, where I got these from. I have a friend that is from New York. She was like, Prospect Park. I was like, where are all the Afrocentric African music? Where's that at? She's like, well, I was like, what park is that? Where they playing drums and dancing all the time? She's like, Prospect Park. So shout out to Prospect Park. That's like our Lemur Park. And so we also usually have, you have to have mas. You have to have maize, mas, however you want to say it. Corn. The crops, miazo is actually how you say it. So crops of some kind, usually corn, represents two children or your children. However many children you have in your family, that's how many crops you're supposed to have, or pieces of corn, maize, you're supposed to have on the mat. But you want to have other crops, meazo, which are like fruits and vegetables and things of that nature. I have a white pumpkin on my altar as well. I call it an altar, but you can call it a place setting, however you feel comfortable. But it's basically to give honor to Kwanzaa and the presentation, so that's why I call it an altar. And so educational gifts, some of my favorite educational gifts are Know Thyself and Dinka cards by Sister Erica over out in the UK at the Nubia Wellness and Healing Center. And then African Goddess, Sister Abiola Abrams, African Goddess cards are also on my Kwanzaa altar. And then when we show honor, or usually any African tradition setup, you're going to have the four elements, right? You're going to have fire, which we would have if we were lighting the candles. You would have water, which we would have in the Kikombe. And then you have earth, which I usually have in the form of a aloe vera plant. And then air, fire, water, earth, air. So air is an incense or sage that is usually burning. So that's usually represents air. So we'll have the whole setup when we actually light the candles. And then I have other gifts that were given to me. So this book, Black Men Studies, was developed by Dr. Siri McDougall out of Cal State LA. Shout out to Dr. Siri. And this was a book given to me while we were working on a project. Shout out to Paul Davis, the actor, producer, director. He directed my PSA. Ask Me, Don't Tell Me. And so, yeah, we were doing a project and we were looking for experts on Black men. So we found Dr. Siri McDougall and he gave me this book. And so that's a gift, a Zawadi that I've had for a couple of years now. And then I have my shaker. If anybody has a proper name for this other than shaker, please let me know. It's made out of a gourd or a calabash. And so it's hollow and you have your beads or shells around it to make noise. So I'm learning how to actively or effectively use my shaker when I go to Lemur Park. I was always asking me to bring my drum. So this drum was actually given to me by a drum master who had given it to one of his students that had transitioned. And so he got the drum back and he said he wanted to give it to someone that he knew would take good care of it. And that someone was me. And I've been told that the way it's designed, it's from Senegal. And so shout out to the Senegalese people for making this drum. This is a djembe drum. And if you look right here, there is a mortar and pillar. Mortar, I always forget how to say that, but that medicine pusher thingy. I'm gonna get it. I promise. I have one around here somewhere, and I always forget how to say it. So these are the elements of, and then something to represent the ancestors, are African art of some kind. This is my, again, this is a piece that has been passed down. This comes from my late fiance, William Anthony Bradford. Give honor to the ancestor, William Anthony Bradford. This is part of his art pieces in his collection. And then you always have to have a bandera or a flag representing the Pan-African nation. So does anybody know who created the red, black, and green flag that we see when we talk about red, black, and green? Red, black, and green. Anybody want to guess? Okay, I'll tell you. Marcus Mosiah Garvey, giving honor to that ancestor. He created the Pan-African flag. He said all other nations had a flag except for Africans and descendants of African Americans. And so he created the red, black, and green flag. What's very interesting about that is most African nations didn't have flags at the time either. So that's why you see the Pan-African flag, the red, black, and green, are usually interwoven into many African nations' flags and some variations. And so I have mine as the base of my base. So this is also a legacy piece from William Anthony Bradford. So this is a piece from him. And then these colors here on this flag, you'll see yellow added to the Pan-African flag, and yellow stands for liberation, right? So we have the other colors. The red stands for and represents our blood, the blood of our people, our ancestors. The green represents our land, the land we were taken from and the land that we've helped cultivate. And black, the black is for our skin, baby. So every shade of black, everything from white vanilla chocolate black all the way to dark onyx black, right? So black stands for our skin and our people. And then you, like I said, you'll see a yellow stripe in some nations because the yellows represents liberation. And we talk about how, you know, the Emancipation Proclamation came forth, but were we liberated? Were we truly liberated if there were so many other laws and things that were put into place to keep us from moving forward? Just a thought, something to think about. That's all I'm saying. And so all of these things are in the Kwanzaa Planner. And so you're more than welcome to download it. It's digital. It's on my website, lanyalondon.com. And that's why we celebrate. This is how we start celebrating Kwanzaa in my house. I will be at LMU on the 20th. That is a correction to my post on Tuesday. It is December 20th at 6 p.m. at the Mbangi spot. That's the Southern California Association of Black Psychologists. Shout out to SoCal ABSI. We are coming together on the 20th, on the 21st in Leimert Park. We are doing a run walk celebrating Kwanzaa. And we will be there with Baba, and Queen Amina is the lead on that. Queen Amina is the shop right there on Degnan. And so that's the 21st. And then the 26th, very first day at midnight, we're going to Happy Kwanzaa New Year at midnight in Leimert Park. And so we'll be in Leimert Park at midnight on the 26th, bringing in Kwanzaa like we would if we were bringing in New Year's Day. And so that'll be our Kwanzaa kickoff. If you have any other celebrations for Kwanzaa, if you or your community are doing other celebrations for Kwanzaa, please, please, please let me know. Hit me my DM and let me know what you're doing in your community for Kwanzaa. I want to make sure that we honor you and your events and that more people know where they can go to celebrate Kwanzaa. So this is my recast, everybody. So if you tried to listen to the first one, don't worry about it. I'm going to take that one down. This one's for you. And we're going to go out to some wonderful music by my brother, Grammy Award-winning artist Philip Guillory. And we're going to listen to some Lucci ballads, y'all. Peace.